Hey guys, welcome back to my vlog. Today I'm going to share with you my trip to the Philippines. I was flying from London Heathrow and I had a stopover in Abu Dhabi. Here I am checking in my bags and I was front of the queue, as you can see. I had some time to burn, so I went around duty free, and as no surprise, look at these inflated prices. As I got seated on the plane, I was so surprised by how much legroom I had in economy. I was watching the Shack documentary to keep me entertained during the flight. The food finally came and it actually wasn't terrible. After a couple hours they came around again with some snacks, which are always welcome. Touchdown in Abu Dhabi. And again, being 6 foot tall, I was surprised by the legroom. Not gonna lie, this crumble was hitting. Finally touched down in Manila, waiting for my luggage. And I finally got to meet up with my family who were waiting outside. At this point I couldn't wait to just rest. The next day we went to Mang Inasal, ordered the classic palabok and of course the chicken inasal. On a different day we went to Pancake House for breakfast. Of course the camera eats first. We're on the road again. I wonder who we're picking up. Sarah and her sister Rebecca arrived from the airport. They'll be spending the next 10 days here and we took them to Aristocrat. After eating, we made our journey home. The following day we met up with my mum's family and ate at Manam at their BGC branch. We had to get that crispy palabok. And if you've never been to Manam, I highly recommend the sisig, but I wasn't a huge fan of the watermelon sinigang. We also walked around the high street for a bit. The Krispy Kreme had special Barbie donuts, which was cool. On this day we were going on a trip to Bataan. It's so cool how the Philippines have implemented RFID on the tolls. On the way there we stopped over to have lunch. This place specializes in steaks and burgers. Sarah just had some of mine and ordered herself a mashed potato. We finally arrived at our accommodation and I'll show you around. This is the pool area and surrounding it is the living space. It was a beachfront villa and this is the first time I've seen black sand. For my mum's birthday, we went to a buffet called Sambokujin and the staff here had a special dance prepared. Just a normal day in the Philippines with heavy rain. We went to Green Hills, notoriously known for its jewelry and counterfeit goods. We had Mang Inasal again. I couldn't let Sarah and her sister leave without trying. Today was our flight to Boracay. Upon landing, we needed to take a shuttle in order to get to the airport. The platform was so unstable, it was scary, especially with the luggage. Then we had to take a ferry to our destination. Look how clear the water is, guys, it's unbelievable. After getting off the ferry, we hired a small bus to bring us to our hotel. And this is the view from my hotel window. This is the private beach of our hotel, and I can say this is one of the best beaches I've seen. They also had a poolside bar, which is very cool, as well as foam parties. I highly recommend this. We had a lot of fun here, and the music they played was good. At night, it's even cooler when all the lights turn on. Then we had dinner at the hotel with live music. During our stay here, there were 2 storms at the same time, so the weather wasn't the best. That didn't stop us from enjoying our time. Here's a clip of my dad and I on the Crystal Kayak. And here's a clip of me getting a henna tattoo, which ended up not being the best idea. This was from a popular shop called Coco Mama. It was really good. I highly recommend it, even though it's quite pricey. I also tried fried ice cream for the first time. And that brings us to an end to our Boracay trip. The following day, we went to Intramuros and rode the Calesa. We also toured around Barbaras, where my mum used to work during her college days. Here we are again on the way to the airport. I spent the next 10 days in Thailand with Sarah and her family. I'll be uploading a Thailand vlog, so keep your eyes peeled for that. When I got back to the Philippines, we went around San Andres and Manila, which is where my dad and his siblings grew up. When my brother arrived from the UK, we decided to go to Palawan. It was crazy hot this day. We stopped over at Mitras Ranch, which had a hillside slide, which is pretty cool. During our stay in Puerto Princesa, we stayed at the Maydavian Resort. They had this private beach and mangrove to themselves, and it was overall just so beautiful. They also had hectares of land that you can explore. And thank you to Tita Maya for being so accommodating. The next day we went to Estrella Falls, which brings back memories since we went here when we were kids. Surprisingly, during our visit we were the only people here. Here we are on our way to island hopping. The first stop was snorkeling. This was such a great experience, even though at first it was scary since we were snorkeling in open water. The water on these islands was so clear, it was unbelievable. When we visited there weren't many people, so it felt like we were on a private island. When we got back to the resort, there was already food prepared for us, which was so nice after a long day. All we wanted was to rest and eat. Here are some more clips of the Maydavian Resort in case anyone's interested in visiting. This is the path that you have to take to get to the dock on the beachfront. On our final day in Puerto Princesa, we visited the crocodile farms. The primary objective is to preserve endangered crocodiles and breed them, and eventually release them into captivity. However, they also keep very large crocodiles who may be a threat to human life. From there we got a tricycle all the way to the airport, and it was quite a scary ride. Back in Manila now, and our cousin Sam invited us to go to a concert, which is being held at Philippine Science High School. There were a range of performances. A lot of them were students from the high school, and they were all really good actually. And here's the main event with Lola Amor. We also went around UP and tried Mang Larry's, which is famous for its street food here. One of our final days in the Philippines, we decided to go on a food trip. First stop was Jollibee, of course. Then we went to Greenwich and then to Pancake House. Here I am on my way back to the UK. It was definitely difficult leaving the Philippines again, but I look forward to the next time that I visit. And that pretty much concludes my Philippines travel. See you guys in the next one.